What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here for our first match review of the season. Obviously, we lost 1-0 at home to Everton on the opening day. And we're going to kind of like try and dissect what happened, what went wrong yesterday. First half, I thought Everton came out of the blocks better than us. First 15 minutes, I thought Everton were on top. And then I thought we did take some sort of control over the game. And I thought, if anything, we looked the better or the most likely team to score in that first half.
Apart from, that chance that Ben Davies gave away to Richarlison. Richarlison goes around the keeper, stumbles a bit, hits over the bar. But apart from that, I think Everton looked a bit sharper on the ball, but we were creating the better chances. I thought we were actually looking more dangerous in the final third than Everton were, despite Everton being sharp in like the central areas in midfield and whatnot, and at the back as well. Their passing seemed to be a lot crisper than ours. They seem to have a lot more control of the ball when they're in possession. But when a few times we picked the ball up in the final third, made some quick transitions, and Son had a really good chance. If it wasn't for a block, it's probably 1-0 Spurs. Nice breakaway with Son, Dele linking up, and Lucas, and Son pays the wrong pass. Should have played Kane in, and that could have been 1-0 Spurs. And Doherty and Kane link up really well, and that should have been 1-0 Spurs. We missed those three chances. But Everton, I think, at half-time wouldn't have been discouraged by how the game was going. I think Spurs, were growing into the game, but I thought Everton probably would have been fairly happy with how the game was going. I don't think it was kind of even in terms of territorially who had control of the game.
Yeah, I don't think anyone really had control of the game, but as a Spurs fan watching it, you didn't really feel that threatened by Everton in that first half, and you felt that if anyone was going to score, it would have been us.
I felt like Everton, with their midfield three of Doucouré, Gomez, and Allan, probably had a bit more physicality in there. I thought we were kind of finding it hard to break them down when we were trying to build up moves. The only way we were creating chances was winning the ball high up the pitch, and then kind of in quick transitions. That was really the only way we were creating chances. So I'm not sure what Jose was thinking. But that half time, he took it. I thought Dele, he might not have had the best first half, but what he did do is he occupied spaces and he occupied players' minds, and he made little runs and he made defenders think. And if Dele's not there, right? So Dele's there, which means an Everton player has to be marking him, has to be picking up Allan, right? Allan has to be picking him up, and it gives them something to think about. Leaves more spaces for people like Son and other players to maybe have more influence. But once you take him off, like they did, we brought in Sissoko, all of a sudden that player's not there, and it makes it a lot easier for the Everton midfielders and defenders to just occupy the three attacking players that we did in Son, Lucas and Kane. They have one less attacking player to think about, and it's a lot easier to manage, and all of a sudden they could put even more players forward, and we looked even more open than we did in the first half, so it completely backfired, that substitution.
Like you said, it made us look so much more open, and it completely nullified our attack.
Yeah.
That second half, we posed no threat whatsoever.
If he was going to make that sub, bring on Lamela. And maybe, if you're thinking, okay, Dele's not playing well, we need more energy. Lamela's good for that. He'll press high. He'll be another body in there. But bringing on Sissoko, man, putting him right wing, playing 4-4-2, it was so bad. It was so bad. I mean, we just couldn't. We had nothing.
In terms of our actual tactics, Jose, I know we've all seen from the Amazon documentary how he's like going, oh, you got to press, you got to be more aggressive. Like, how many times is Jose going to say this to the players with them not listening? Because it seems as though we were pressing, but like half-arsedly really yesterday. The midfield battle was completely won by Everton. I thought Højbjerg and Winks were rubbish. I thought they were both rubbish. And I thought Allan, James and Doucouré, like you said, completely won that midfield battle. Why are we not pressing high up the pitch? Why are our players looking lazy? Why are they looking so lethargic? It just doesn't make sense to me.
I think in the first half, the pressing wasn't actually too bad. The chances we created was from our pressing. That's how we created those chances. So I think, except for maybe the Doherty one, which was that was built from deep. That was from a bit of individual brilliance. But I thought the other chances we created were from high pressing. And I think there was a few good openings we made. But once we moved into the second half with those players, it just didn't work at all. We had Son and Kane kind of pressing high. We had Lucas on the left. We had Sissoko on the right with Højbjerg and Winks in centre. And we still lost them. I think the midfield battle probably got even worse because we kind of took a player out from the centre, moved Sissoko out to the right, and it was so easy for them. I don't know what. I think Jose said in his post-match interview that the reason he did that is because there was a lot of space in behind in transitions on the right on the wings. So he brought on Sissoko or something. I don't know what he was thinking. It was completely baffling to me what he was trying to do. And our pressing in the second half was atrocious, especially after going 1-0 down, especially that. And I don't know if that's a mentality thing or a belief thing, because the pressing was all over the place. How many times I saw Højbjerg pressing his man and then just get easily beaten, and just easily spun by players like Richarlison, and how many times we committed fouls in stupid areas. I know Jose, especially in the documentary, was going on about how in transitions we need to be making more fouls to stop play. But when it's late in the game and we need to get the ball, like these silly fouls, all they're doing is slowing the game down and stopping play and wasting time. That's all it's doing. And how many times do we give away stupid fouls and let give Everton respite? So often. And Everton, especially in the second half, they created on the counter attack and even in open play just so many chances. Richarlison, time after time, was able to cut inside on Matt Doherty and have a shot. He would be very disappointed he didn't get more than a goal, and it's really disappointing. I mean, I was so disappointed with yesterday. I really was.
I mean, 1-0. 1-0 completely flattered us.
Yeah.
Completely flattered us. Richarlison on another day would have got a hat-trick, maybe even 4 goals, you know what I mean? Calvert-Lewin, I thought, bullied Eric Dyer and Toby Alderweireld.
It flattered us, but in terms of real big, clear-cut chances they created, as in the goal, if Richarlison would have scored the goal from the chances, it would have been good finishes. They were on the left-hand side, cutting inside.
There was one open goal.
There was for that open goal. That was the chance that we gave them, yeah. But but the chances, they didn't create any clear one-on-ones, if you know what I mean. They had a lot of shots in good positions, but they didn't create a lot of clear-cut chances. Whereas for us, I would say that Doherty chance was quite a clear-cut chance. But yeah,
you're saying that Doherty chance was a clear-cut chance, but they scored a goal, brilliant header from Calvert-Lewin, Eric Dyer and Toby Alderweireld. Where the hell were they?
Yeah,
where the hell were they?
They were there. They just got beaten. It wasn't like they weren't marking. They were marking him. They just got beaten, and they have to hold their hands up and say, "Look, they should be willing."
That was an embarrassing leap from Eric Dyer. It was completely embarrassing. How do you let Calvert-Lewin like that beat you in the air?
He is good in the air.
I'm not saying he's not, but you're Eric Dyer. You're a tall, commanding centre back.
Yeah, he's got to be.
You cannot
wiping
be weak
him out
like that. You cannot be weak like that. It's a disgrace. And I want to touch on the 2 debutants. Let's talk about Matt Doherty first, because there were some good moments and some bad moments. I think, as a whole, from a debut, it wasn't that bad. I mean, there were some really nice moments. He showed that what he can bring to the team. Obviously, it wasn't his best performance, and Jose said after the game as well that that's not the real Matt Doherty. But you could see what he will bring to the team.
Yeah, for sure. And that 1-2 played with Kane, Sergio Aurier would never have done that. That's not his type of. That's not how he approaches the game. The little 1-2s he was playing, it was nice play. He did some really nice moments, but as the game wore on, he just got really tired. I don't know if it was because of the international
you could
duty
see he
or
was
whatnot.
knackered.
He was gone. Richarlison had him on toast every time, and especially late in the game, he just couldn't get back in time. And he was playing very, very high up on the pitch when we had the ball. So it meant he had to do a lot of tracking back, and I don't know if he was up to it yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned to you during the game, first 15, 20 minutes, I thought he looked a bit shaky. I mean, he was giving away a ball a lot. But then I thought he grew into the game, and I thought he looked really good, but then quite tired quite quickly after that. So, I mean, I want to see more from Matt Doherty. I want to give him a bit. Obviously he's a new signing, and you can see what qualities he has, but I just want to pause on Matt Doherty for a bit and see what he can bring, because I know he's got good qualities.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it wasn't the best game. I think he showed some stuff, but it was only a debut. You got to be relaxed about it. I think he'll be disappointed in definitely he didn't score. He definitely should have scored that chance. But I think he definitely showed what he can bring.
Yeah, and Højbjerg is a different case. I thought that he was like a headless chicken in there in the middle of the park. I thought he was a bit lucky not to get sent off. I thought he was going in there with some rough challenges. I think he got booked, didn't he?
Yeah, for that challenge on Richarlison.
And maybe he could have got another yellow card on another day. But I just wasn't impressed with him at all. At all. I just thought, like I said before, headless chicken, didn't contribute much to the team. I thought his passing was really bad. And, I mean, I don't get this whole Højbjerg signing. I mean, I know what player he was at Southampton, and he wasn't the deepest back in midfield at Southampton, but I thought that was the job we brought him in for. And the 2 times we've seen him play in the friendly and today, Winks has been the furthest back, and I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't understand that as well. I don't know why we don't just train Højbjerg into being a destroyer in the centre of the park deeper, so he can kind of play it simply to the better players who can go further forward. It seems Højbjerg is being tasked to kind of be pressing high up the pitch, kind of being trying to win the ball very high up the pitch and then setting up transitions. And I thought in the first half, to be fair, I don't think it was as bad as you're saying in the first half. I did think he was okay. I think he did win the ball a few times, and he did win quite a few tackles, and it was looking decent. But the second half, especially once we were 1-0 down, there was a massive problem. He was all over the place. I don't know whether it was because when he started getting paired with Sissoko as well, but he looked all alone in that centre, completely all over the place. Every time he tried to press, he was easily spun. He was just giving away fouls. He was pressing really badly, and yeah, as you say, his passing was woeful. And there was one moment where he could try to dribble out of his box, and when there was 2 players on him, and he loses it and could have given away another goal. That was just really poor decision making. So. Again, it's his debut. Maybe he's still getting used to how we play and what Mourinho wants from him. But it wasn't that encouraging, to be honest. I thought the first half he was okay. He did the job that we thought. But the second half, that was quite worrying. It's just worrying how he kind of capitulated within himself. That was the worrying thing, because he kind of it reminded me of like when Spurs kind of capitulate at the end of games and just all over the place. That was what he was like, and it was like that in one player. Yeah. So that was he did kind of lose his head. So he's got to be better up there as well as on the ball. Yeah, and
Mourinho was banging on about the mentality of these players that we brought in, Doherty and Højbjerg, and how, we're bringing the right profile of player in, and how they don't have a soft underbelly. I mean, he didn't say that specifically, but I thought that was the vibe he was kind of giving. I mean, if Højbjerg has come in to play the role that he's playing, surely we still need a CDM then?
You would think so. You'd think so, because I don't understand it. I don't understand why Winks is playing the deepest role when he can't cover as much ground as someone like Højbjerg can. Højbjerg needs to be like a destroyer in that deep role. And he's, at the moment, as Josh King said in the fan cams after the game, he's playing like a number 6. He's playing box to box. And we don't really want him further forward. He doesn't really contribute that much. I know he's good at winning the ball. He's good at making high pressing. But other than that, when he gets the ball, he's not that creative with his passing or anything. And I know there were stats coming out where he made like the most passes in the Spurs team in the final third and stuff. But what passes? What were they? They weren't through balls. They were just probably easy passes and stuff. So I think Jose needs to think about how he's using him and what role he really wants him to play. But at the moment, and when it looks like when we play a double pivot, that's the role he wants him to play.
Yeah, moving back onto the pressing, I want to just touch on it a bit. Like I said, that we've all seen the Amazon documentary, how Jose bangs on about pressing. He mentioned after the game how our pressing from the front was lazy. What? I don't get that. Like, first game of the season, we've all seen the documentary, we've all seen how he's been banging on about it since he's come in. We need to be more aggressive, we need to press high from the front. Why are they still not doing it? Are they not playing for him? Like, what's going on?
I don't know. But look, to be fair, I think I should touch on a point. Under Pochettino, obviously he's known for his high pressing style, and he's known for being straight on it from the front. And how many times did we start a season slowly under Pochettino?
Yeah, but
and with pressing not as strong. It happened quite a few times, and it took us a while to get into the season. It happened 3 or 4 times, really, under Poch. So I'm not saying it's the same thing here, but I wouldn't start accusing the players yet of not playing for him.
At the end of the day, we've brought in Mourinho to solve the Pochettino issues of, slow start to the season, not getting over the line, winning a trophy, these kind of things. This is why we've brought in a new manager, and this is why we sacked Pochettino. And for the same issues to be revolving, then I just don't get the point of the whole thing. it's just really, really, really hard to take that these same issues are just keep happening.
The biggest problem for me is you see all the especially in the Amazon doc. I know we've mentioned it a lot, but you see it like these motivational speeches like Mourinho gives at half time and whatnot before the game, and you really feel like the players are buying into it and everything. But the big problem is a big element of football is belief and really buying into ideas that managers are saying. And when someone gives a really motivational speech and then you go out and you change the game and you get the result, that belief is really comes within the squad, and they really start to feel that this is this guy they need to follow. But the problem is, once as I've been seeing in the latest episodes, once the results start going against you, that belief kind of ebbs away, and then you stop believing what the manager's saying. You stop believing that this guy is really knows the right way to go forward. And the only way to get that feeling back is getting the good results. And I worry this bad start to the season is going to start ebbing away the belief in the team. And because we've got so many games thick and fast, our season could be over before it starts after these 9 games. It really could. The way we've if this game is anything to go by, like. One bad game in Europa League, we're out of that. One bad game in Carabao Cup, we're out of that. And we have to play them within 2 days of each other. You know, if we have a bad start to the season, we got Southampton, who are not easy. And then I don't know who. I think maybe West Ham, then United, right? So if we don't get some wins on the board there, we could be looking at 1 win in 4 games or something. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, we're behind the Premier League. We could be out of both cups, and then all of a sudden, our season's in tatters before it starts. No, that's what a bad feeling around. So that's why it's so important to have a good performance to start the season. And you can see when the belief isn't there. The players kind of stop believing what the managers are saying, and that's what I'm worried about. And I'm worried. I'm just hoping it hasn't happened too early. But you got to remember as well, Pochettino's second full season at Spurs. We started the season on a 1-0 defeat. We actually started the season without winning our first 4 games, and we kind of went on a run. So look, it's hard to read too much into the beginning of the season. I know you don't want to get too down in the dumps. It's only one result, one
It's just hard to take, you know.
I know it's because I think it's the hardest thing to take because we're so excited going to start the season. Pre-season, we're winning a few games, a couple of signings that were addressing key areas that we thought was the biggest problems. But the biggest worry for me is at the moment is that Son, Bergwijn, Dele, Lucas are simply not contributing enough. Simply, and it's not just today. It's not just last game. It's been a problem.
You got to say Kane as well. Kane in the game yesterday, I thought he gave up running after a while.
But it's ever since. I know it's been a problem because Kane and Son were injured from January. But from January, those players haven't stepped up, and that's a big problem. They just haven't. I mean,
I would say Lucas has stepped up, but not with contributing to stats going forward.
Yeah, and Bergwijn, he hasn't scored since United in the lockdown. Son, I think, since lockdown.
I don't think Bergwijn didn't play too much after lockdown though.
He played. I think he played quite a bit.
He played Lucas every game.
But he was he came. Yeah, fair. Okay, but still, he still hasn't scored since United. Son, how many goals did he score after lockdown?
He scored 2 or 3, I think.
I don't know. How many did he score? I know he scored a few in pre-season, but I can't remember him. I know maybe did he score against Newcastle? Maybe. I think he scored against Newcastle. Did he not
score against Leicester?
No. Oh, he got like an own goal. He forced an own goal. The fact is, since lockdown, except for Kane, no player has scored more goals than own goal for us.
That says it all, really.
So they need to stop staying up. They can't just rely on Kane all the time. I know Kane, you can also criticise Kane, but Kane, at least since lockdown, he got 5 or 6 goals, right, in 9 games. So you can't really complain too much about that output. Son, Bergwijn, Lucas, Dele. When was the last time Dele scored? Was it against Burnley in the penalty? I think so. I don't know. He scored since then.
Could have been.
So sure. Because I think he was injured at the end of the season, wasn't he? So these guys need to start looking at themselves and thinking, why am I not contributing enough? And if there's problems not them, then the problem lies with Mourinho. And that's what I'm worried about. I'm worried that the problem does lie with Mourinho. And that because we've all seen with not necessarily with Chelsea and team before, but with the United job, he had a wealth of talent, or with Martial, Lukaku, Sanchez. I know you could say, they're off form or whatnot, but He had good talent there. They spent a lot of money, Pogba as well. And he couldn't get a good attacking tune out of them. So he need and you know, you could say, is that the player's problem? Was that his problem? What I thought originally was a player's problem. I'm not saying now I think it's his problem, but he needs to convince me otherwise. Because
but you know what? It's been the player's problem under Pochettino as well.
Was it under?
Was it a Pochettino problem? Was it a player problem?
It was a problem in Pochettino's last season, but it wasn't before.
Even the back end of the season when we got to the Champions League final, those league performances were absolutely dire.
Yeah, but at least Lucas, Son, Kane were contributing goals.
Yeah.
At the moment, they're not. And they need to. I'm sorry, they have to start looking at themselves.
I think these players are always players that drift in and out of seasons in terms of their outputs, goals and assists. Happens with Sonny, happens with Lucas, happens with happens with all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it could be just one of those moments. But I really don't want to sit here and blame Mourinho. I think you got to blame Mourinho for the loss yesterday in terms of the substitution.
Yeah,
because I think
got it wrong.
That completely killed us. But you can't blame him for it as a whole. I don't know. Maybe you can, but I just don't want to blame him. I just think these players, they're not giving their all. I don't see them giving their all on the pitch.
I don't know if it's a player problem or a tactical problem. Look, I think time will tell. Time will tell whether it's one or the other. But at the moment, it's kind of worrying that they're not contributing as much as I'd hope, because obviously when we had all those attacking problems with the injuries, like, oh, okay, Kane's out, that's why, Son's out, that's why, but they all came back, and it's not like I know we were all getting good results, fair enough, you know, credit to Mourinho, he got us good results, but it's not like we were scoring goals for fun that much, except, you know, okay, we got
3 against Leicester,
3 against Leicester and 3 against Newcastle, but apart from that,
yeah.
Even before that, you know, when we played Chelsea at home, we had Kane, we had Son, didn't look like scoring at all.
We were rubbish at that.
Yeah. So yesterday as well, I know we had a few good chances in the first half, but second half we had all our players. They were there.
It's impossible to put your finger on the problem because it looks like the tactics are not great, but it looks like the tactics are not great because the players are not giving their all. But maybe that's not the full story. I just don't know.
Do I really think the players are going out there not giving their all? I guess time will tell. I don't know. It's hard for me to say they're not trying 100%.
When you talk about lazy pressing, yeah, Mourinho could be digging out the players there, but you can see it in front of your eyes. They were lazy pressing. They weren't giving 100% in that second half, trying to chase every ball down at the back. So, I mean, it's a hard one. But you guys let me know in the comment section below who is to blame. I think it's safe to say Mourinho is to blame for yesterday, but who's to blame for the rut in a whole?
We'll see.
Time will tell. But anyway, that is our match review. It was a bit of a long one today because we had a lot to get off our chest. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, come on, Spurs.